We're still in Perek Lamed Ches, page Nun Aleph on top, 186 at the bottom. Okay, the Alter Rebbe is in the middle of explaining. Okay, the Alter Rebbe is explaining if the main thing of mitzvahs is action mitzvahs, why does the Gemara say if you do a mitzvah without intent, it's like a body without a soul? So the Alter Rebbe started explaining there's inanimate, plant, animal, and human. In action, there's two types of actions. And this is what the Alter Rebbe is leading up to now. There's action and there's verbal action. Mitzvah speech, davening, benching, that you have to speak. Hallel, that you have to speak. So therefore, there's action mitzvahs are called inanimate. Mitzvahs that are speech are called plant. Okay? Now the Alter Rebbe is explaining like this. What is intent? Intent, Alter Rebbe is going to say, and that there's, he just finished saying that there's two aspects of the actions of the mitzvah, speech and action. And now the Alter Rebbe is this we're going to start today. There's intent of a mitzvah, which is also divided into two. And this is what he's saying now. We're going to start like the first of the wide lines, 13 lines in the bottom of the page. He says, the kavanas ha-mitzvahs l'dafka b'yisparech, the intent of the mitzvah, which is to connect to Hashem, is like the neshama to the body. Like he said, the body, the action of the mitzvah is the body, and then you have the soul of the mitzvah. But it has kamken l'shtei madreges, also has two levels. Shein k'v'shtei madreges ha-neshama shein beguf ha-chumri shein chayu medaber. Alter Rebbe says like this: inanimate and plant don't really have souls. Animal has a soul, and a human has a soul. So just like the action of the mitzvah is divided into two, inanimate mitzvahs, meaning action mitzvahs, versus the verbal mitzvahs, which is plant. In the intent of the mitzvah, you have two types: animal intent and human intent. And Dr. Rebbe is now going to explain what that means. By the way, it's nothing negative. It's all positive. A person has a proper, intellect. The das is Hashem, to know and to understand Hashem. To meditate into the greatness of Hashem. And to give birth from this meditation and understanding of Elokus. An intellectual awe and fear in his mind. Hashem, and the love of Hashem in the right part of the heart, which is no blood, meaning that's where the nefesh kiss is. What is the meditation? That his soul is longing and thirsty to connect to Hashem. How do you connect to Hashem? It's only by doing mitzvahs. We discussed previously, if you meditate, if you have a pair of tefillin on the table, and you meditate into the greatness of Hashem for 10 hours, all about tefillin, you still didn't get the mitzvah of tefillin. You have to physically put them on. But so how do you cling to Hashem? By doing the actual mitzvah. But the person is thirsty. He's meditating how great Hashem is. And because of that, he has a longing and a thirst to be connected to Hashem. Which is the bringing down of godliness on himself. The dafka to cling to Hashem. And with this, I'm going to explain everything in a minute. He does the mitzvahs. Or he davens and says a bracha. This type of intent is kamei nishmas hamedaber, like the soul of a human, which is about, okay, I'm going to explain this thing outside first, and then we'll see it inside. There is the natural, instinctive love called the Ava Mesuteres. We learned about that before in Tanya. There is a natural, instinctive love that every single Jew who's born a Jew or converts halachically has this as inheritance from Avraham Avinu. A natural, instinctive love. There's another type of love. That is a meditation form of love that's stimulated through meditation. Meaning, a person sits down and properly meditates into, like we say, Marabu Masach Hashem, Magodu Masach Hashem. The whole universe, not earth, the universe, is one word from Hashem's mouth. Okay? And you meditate and you realize that what is one word, remember, compared to the power of speech, which is infinite, compared to the whole universe is one word from Hashem's mouth. So it's basically nothing. And when a Jew does a mitzvah and he connects himself to Hashem, he is connecting not to the one word that came from Hashem's mouth. He's connecting to the essence of Hashem. And you meditate on that concept and about how great Hashem is. Einoid mulvade, there's nothing but God. And because of that, your longing is not the physical objects that come and go. Your longing is not the food that makes you sick, or more property that gives you, as the Mishnah says, more headaches. What is the person's longing? To be connected to Hashem. That meditation awakens an open love and fear, a tangible love and fear of Hashem. That's much greater than the natural instinctive love, which is enough of a love just to do it because, I'm doing a mitzvah. Why are you doing a mitzvah? Because Hashem told me to do. So what? Listen, I love Hashem, so I'm going to do a mitzvah. But that's not the revealed level of a love that Hashem really wants a person to have. So the Alter Rebbe, in fact, is going to compare. There's a human, like you said, a neshama of a human. What's the uniqueness of a human? We learned many times. Ata chaynein la'adam das. A person has das. Chaneinu mi'itcha chabad chachma bina v'das. Baruch atah Hashem chaynein ados. The human uniqueness is that we have intellect. The purpose of intellect is not to be brilliant in how to do evil. It's brilliance in how we can connect to Hashem more. And some people, the Alter Rebbe says, are able to do that. They have great minds. They have lofty souls. They can meditate. And by nature, meditation, Ava Ein, Chachma and Bina meditation, creates children, which are the 6 midas, Ava and Yira and so on and so forth. That meditation, that kavana, that's called intellect, human soul. There's animals, and that's what he's saying even that malachim are called animals. What is an animal? An animal doesn't function with intellect. An animal functions by instinct. Animals run with midas. They function with midas, not with intellect. And therefore, like we learned many times, the emotions, the midah of an animal is much stronger than human emotions. People will tell you that a dog is more devoted to the master than the kids are to the parents. First of all, they don't answer, the dogs don't answer back. But what is the concept? Why is the midas of a dog so powerful? Because people, intellect cools down a midah. When you see somebody who's very, very excited, going crazy, excited, what do you tell them in English? Cool it. What does cool it mean? Put an ice cube on it. Cool it means take your intellect and calm it down, because intellect controls midas. Intellect can cool down. Intellect is cold by nature. Feelings are warm. So what happens? The midas, by the way, of the nefesh abamis, of the animal soul of the Jew, that's called behema, because it's a behema, it doesn't have intellect or godliness. It has natural, inborn, innate midas that the nefesh abamis. You're a Jewish nefesh abamis. You have ava mitzvot. You have the hidden love, hidden fear. It's not revealed. He says like this: when a person does a mitzvah with kavanah, okay, and that you actually meditate into the greatness of Hashem, that creates a powerful life, a powerful soul. Dr. Rebbe calls it the human soul. When you serve Hashem, like all of us do, we serve Hashem because that's what we're supposed to do. Okay? We love Hashem. He gives us life. After all, you should only do a mitzvah. That is called the neshama of an animal, and therefore, it's not the same level of kavanah. So the Alter Rebbe is explaining like this: just like action of mitzvahs are divided by two, action versus verbal, in the intent of the mitzvah, it's also divided into two. Action of the mitzvahs is domain and tzemeach, plant, inanimate action, plant, speech. The same thing in the intent of the mitzvah. You also have the chai, the animalistic meditation, meaning the natural instinctive love that a Jew has. And then you have the intellectual, which is called human intellect, human stimulation, which is a much greater level of kavanah. Both are enough to do the mitzvah, by the way. But we explained this before, I'm going to explain it again. There's a pasuk that says, Rav Tvois B'Koyach Shor. You get a lot of grain with the power of an axe, which means if you want to plow a field, don't use a human, use an axe. Because an axe is stronger than a human. So the pasuk says, Rav Tvois, you want to get a lot of grain, it's B'Koyach Shor, it's with the power of an axe. So Chassidus asks, starting from look at the Torah, Alter Rebbe asks, I need a pasuk to tell me that an axe is stronger than a person. Every farmer knows you don't plow a field with a human, you plow a field with an axe. I need a pasuk in Chumash, in Tanakh to tell me that. So the Alter Rebbe explains, but the Torah is telling us something completely different. The ultimate goal of a person, when you do something with love, like we said, love means you become one with it. When you do something with love and fear, it's much greater than when you only do it cold intellect. You need to have the chayas, the feeling of it. There is, the nefesh habamis is a short, a behema. The nefesh ulikis is called Adam. We just explained that the midas, the emotional traits of an animal, are far stronger than the midas, the emotions of a human, because intellect automatically cools down midas. It stimulates it, but it cools it down. Therefore, if you get nervous, what are you supposed to do? Think. It's not so bad. I shouldn't go crazy. It's not so bad what happened. Intellect cools down the emotions. The nefesh ulikis is called a person. The nefesh habamis, what it means? Behema is a behema. So what's the difference? What is the difference between the nefesh habamis and nefesh ulikis? Nefesh Elokis is primarily is seichel. Nefesh Habamis is primarily midas. But the Alter Rebbe says like this: when somebody transforms the Nefesh Habamis, when you get the Nefesh Habamis to also do Torah and mitzvahs, what you're doing is like this. The Nefesh Habamis has midas, we said, primarily emotions. Now, the Nefesh Habamis, though, it wants, what does it love? Evil, world. But when you take the emotions of the animal soul and transform that, instead of wanting world, the animalistic Nefesh Habamis wants godliness, those midas, those emotions, far stronger than the emotions of the Nefesh Elokis by itself. And that's the Alter Rebbe explains what the pasuk says. Rav Tvuis B'Koyach Shor means if you want to get a lot of grain, you want to have a strong relationship with Hashem, of feelings, because when you feel something, then it's you. You do it coldly, it's not you. When you feel it, it becomes one with you. The pasuk says you want to get a lot of grain, you want to get a lot of connection with Hashem in a real way, you need to deal with the Nefesh Habamis, the shor. Because when you transform the midas, just the actual feeling, which until now wants evil, but you can transform that midah of the animal soul to one kedusha. That's the Aveda. Transform the wanting of world to the wanting of kedusha. But once you do that with the animal soul, the midas of godliness are stronger than the midas that the Nefesh Elokis has. And this is what the Alter Rebbe is saying here also. There is the kavan of the mitzvah, like he says, divided into two. If a person is able to meditate into the greatness of Hashem, and with this he does mitzvahs, so he says, four lines to the end of the page. Are kavan zu, this intent that comes through meditation is al derech mashal nishmas hamedaber. That's like the human soul, the human intent. Shubal seichel bechira, which has intellect and free choice. Ubedas yidaber, and he speaks intellectually because he has this meditation. Now, umisha daitik sara. What happens if you're not on that level? You can't, like all of us, basically. Maybe you. I don't know about you. I know about me. You can't awaken this unbelievable love that I should love Hashem more than I love anything else. Leido mizbein begdusing salbaruchu, that you don't have this ability to meditate into the greatness of Hashem. Lahelid ava mibinosi, to create love and understanding. Bizgalously, but you can't reveal it openly because you don't have that ability. V'cheina yira b'meichi, upachad Hashem believe, or you can't awaken awe and fear in your heart and mind. What does he do? He can't awaken this new open level of love, but he remembers, I got a hidden love. I have a natural, inborn, instinctive love. He awakens the natural, instinctive love, which is concealed in his heart. And he brings it out from the concealment of the heart. Not openly, but at least you understand, you know what? I should really love God. Look what he does for me. Every minute I'm alive, it's because of him. Whatever I have is him. So you awaken, at least intellectually, you know what? It's the right thing to do. It's not this burning love. It's not this emotional love. But he says, that at least the intellect in the brain and the concealment of the heart, Maskim agrees, he really wants seriously to serve Hashem. And he's ready to actually realistically give up your life. Al yichud Hashem, for the oneness of Hashem. To connect to the godly soul in the garments. to include them in the oneness of Hashem, which is the will of Hashem in learning or kiyum mitzvahs. And I'm just reading because we have to get into the point. The gamayira klulaban in the love is also fear. The kabul malchusi, to accept the yoke of Hashem's kingdom. Shlei limited bechas v'shom, not to rebel against Hashem. Ubekavana zu, and with this intent, who's surmei rav aseitei, a normal, average religious Jew. Okay, why does he serve Hashem? Are you telling me that he loves Hashem, he loves Torah mitzvahs more than he loves the world? No. But he understands, really, realistically, I have to be Shomer Shabbos, I have to keep kosher, I have to put on tefillin, I have to do mitzvahs. Why? Because I understand that Hashem is the boss. Are you openly? No. But that love, the natural instinctive love, the Alter Rebbe says, is enough to get you going to do the mitzvahs. That kavana, that's kavana. That kavana is called the animal kavana. It's very good, the Alter Rebbe says. And therefore he's going to say that even the malachim are called animals because their love of Hashem is instinctive. The angels don't have a meditation into the greatness of Hashem. That's what he's going to begin on Parak Lamed Tes. That they have this open intellectual, that malachim are not. Malachim are programmed instinctively to love Hashem and serve Hashem. And a person who reveals that hidden love within him, okay? Then it becomes like the neshama of an animal. Animals don't have seichel, intellect, or free choice. And all the attributes, the emotions. Then an animal is afraid. You know, it's interesting. Animals know how to stay away from danger. But that's not intellectual. It's instinctive. And to love things that the animals love. They're all natural. And it's not intellectual. So therefore, this is called kavana of an animal. So it is. So it is also this natural instinctive love and fear that every Jew has as an inheritance. It's not revealed by intellect. It's revealed by a minimal intellect of Yerushalanu Me'avisenu. It's inheritance, and it's Kavan Mashasenu. It's our nature. So what Alter Rebbe is saying over here is like this. And by the way, what is interesting over here, the meditated type of love, which is revealed, that's called a new love that you created now. It's a love that didn't exist instinctively, naturally within the person. It became revealed anew. It's a new meditation that created a new level of love and fear of Hashem. That you have to create through meditation. The natural instinctive love, which Alter Rebbe says throughout Tanya, it's enough to make a Beinani, but that is enough that he shouldn't sin at all, not in thought, not in speech, and not in action. The intent for us simple people, they want to know, what does the intent mean? The intent means, every so often, by the way, it's not a bad idea to learn chassidus and meditate and think a little bit to also stimulate the person. A person does a mitzvah, and let me finish the point, I'll answer this point with it. We don't have to create something new. We just have to reveal something that's there. There's a very big difference between creating something new or just revealing something that's there already. The Ava Mesuteres, we don't have to create. It's there. What we need to do is to reveal the natural instinct that we have. All we have to do is reveal it. It's there. But we have to work is to reveal it. But it's not to have to create something new like the meditation of what he calls the kavana of a neshama of a person that is intellectually motivated and intellectually stimulated. It's not. What it is simple. That is meditation that needs to be revealed. The love and fear that needs to be revealed. Here we're talking about kavana. It's enough to have the ava misoteres, meaning I'm doing a mitzvah. Let's get practical. I'm doing a mitzvah. Think, why am I doing this mitzvah? So we make a bracha. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech ha'olam asher kedeshanu b'mitzvaysa v'tzivanu, whatever. So we learned already, I'm going to say it again, because this is what the kavanah of Ava Misoteres is. When you make a bracha, if you take an English siddur, it's blessed art thou, Lord, King of the universe, our Lord, our God, King of the universe, who commanded us to do A, B, C, D. Chassidus explains it's much, much deeper than that. Baruch means lahamshich, to bring down. There's a pasuk, there's a mishnah mavrech gefen by yavrech gmalim. Okay, bracha means to bring down. Ata, you, is the level of Hashem which is actually nameless. You, the essence. The essence is not names. Names is only the way the essence becomes revealed in a certain way. So when a Jew is doing a mitzvah, you make a simple bracha and you think very simply. When I do this mitzvah, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to bring down the essence of Hashem into Havaya, into Yukivavke, which is the infinite level of God. Elokeinu, Elokim, which is the limited level of God. So what am I doing when I say a bracha? I am bringing down with this bracha and mitzvah that I'm about to do. Baruch, I'm bringing down Ato, you, Anechi, right? First person, second person. Ato is like you, essence. This essence I'm bringing down into the infinite level of God, into the finite level of God, and through that, Melech Ha'olam, I'm bringing it into the world. And then we say, why? Because Asher Kedeshanu b'mitzvaysa, because God sanctified us. What does it mean, sanctified us? He separated us by doing mitzvahs. In other words, how am I able to bring down this kedusha of Ata and Havai into the world? Because Hashem sanctified us. He made us different than the rest of the world through mitzvahs. The tzivanu, and He's binding us. Allah dikner Shabbos Kodesh, Allah niach tefillin, whatever the bracha is, and the mitzvah is. That is the natural instinctive love. We have it. That's what it is. It's there. We don't have to meditate into it. Yeah, it would help to create something. But what actually happens is this is the meditation. And this is what the Ava Misoteres, and that's why the Gemara says you need kavana. You can have a kavana of a human kavana, which means an abundance, overfeeling type of kavana, or you can have the animal kavana, which is the natural instinct of love that we have. Okay, we'll leave it at this. Everybody have a great Shabbos. Don't forget, the next class will be February 7th. Next week, there's no class, both Monday and Wednesday. The following Monday after that will not be a class. 2 weeks from tonight will be the next class.